Hello, Darren Alff here from BicycleTouringPro.com. It's about 11 a.m. and I am 100 kilometers or so north of the Arctic Circle in northern Sweden. I've just spent the night camping in my tent here. See all my stuff. It's 11 a.m. because all morning it's been raining outside. And one of my strategies for beating the rain is to not go into it. A lot of people will wake up regardless of whether it's raining or not and just go out and get wet. And I don't like to do that. I like to wait until the rain stops and then go. Because oftentimes, especially in the early morning, it will rain and it will stop sometime around 10 or so in the morning. And that's exactly the case today. So I just waited in my tent until the rain stopped, which it has, I believe. And I checked Google and it says no more rain for the rest of the day, hopefully. So I'm gonna pack up tent now, pack up my tent, pack up my bike, change my clothes, the camera's fogging up, and get ready to go. I wanna cycle about 80 kilometers or so, maybe further if I can, but that's the plan for today. A common question that I receive is, do you ever pack up your tent when it's wet after it's rained or something like that? And the answer is yes, all the time actually. The second part of that answer, however, is that as soon as I have the opportunity, I'm drying the thing out. So if the sun comes out today, it's very possible that I might stop for half an hour and just open up my tent and let it dry. If not, it looks pretty overcast today. I don't think the sun's gonna come out. I just set the tent up again tonight and hope that it doesn't rain again so that it does maybe in fact dry overnight. So that's the answer to that question is yes, I pack it wet, but I try to dry it out as soon as I possibly can. Alright, I'm back out on the road now. Car just honked at me like they knew me or something. I don't know what that was about, but here we go. Check out that frozen lake behind me.
We left our love with question marks, with broken hearts. I went all my life without you. Something right could be so wrong. Carry on, cause I know I have to let you go. I know it's bad to take a leap into my world of fantasies, but we will make it all the way somehow. But I know now when I wake up, I just have to put my feet back on the ground. And you will come back. Oh my God, it's you again. Once we were more than friends. Darling, how you've been. I missed your smile. Minds and I will start all over here without you. But something right could be so wrong. I carry on cause I know I have to let you go again. I know it's bad to take a leap into my world of fantasies, but we will make it all the way somehow. But I know now when I wake up, I just have to put my feet back on the ground. You will come back, oh my God, it's you again. Once we were more than friends. Darling, how you've been. I missed your smile. Oh my God, it's you again. So many years has gone, now you're back again. I
So I've been riding this new Co-Motion Cycle Siskiyou touring bicycle for the last, I don't know how long I've been on the road, 8 days or something. And it has a pinion gearbox, which means there is no metal chain or derailleurs on the bike. All the gearing is inside the frame, and there's a carbon belt that kind of drives the bicycle forward. And one of the great things is about this bike and the pinion gearbox and all that is that I have not had to clean anything yet. I've basically done no maintenance on my bike since I've been out here. And yesterday my bike got really dirty going through the snow and dirt, and normally I would have had to clean my chain after that, and my chain would probably have been squeaking and stuff today as I rode, as it kind of dried out and got all the sand out of there and everything. But because I have that Gates carbon belt on there, there's just no maintenance that needs to be done. It's clean, yeah, and it's really, really smooth and really, really nice. I'm out of breath, sorry. So it's a little after 5 p.m. I just loaded up on food and water. I got some juice, I got some tomato soup to make tonight, some bread, tortilla chips and salsa, and a cucumber. So, yeah, my bike is very heavy at the moment, but I'm gonna have a feast tonight. I'm gonna cycle maybe for another hour or so. It would be nice to cover about 20 kilometers or so, and then I'll call it. So I've done almost 65 kilometers today, and so if I can get over 80, that's good. So it's a little after 6 p.m. There is nobody out on the road right now, like nobody. I got the whole world to myself. I have gone 78 kilometers thus far today. I'm gonna try to go 12 more and then call it a night. Try to find some place to stay in this vast wilderness. Where will I camp tonight? That is the question. I just crossed the 90 kilometer mark for the day, which means it is my favorite time of day. Time to find a place to camp. And there are lots of places, so I just want to find a place where I don't have to get my feet wet. So this morning it rained and I packed the tent just wet, as you can see. So the sun is still out, it's shining a little bit now. I'm just gonna set the tent up and I think it'll be dry by the time I go to bed, so not a big deal. This tent is getting old. So tonight for dinner I've got quite a spread. Let me show you what I'm cooking. The main dish is this tomato soup that I bought. Tomato soup! We'll see if it's any good. Then I got bread and butter and this little bit of cucumber that I gotta use up. I also got some chips, tortilla chips, and salsa here. And what else? And then I bought this giant thing of fruit juice. I'm not going to drink that all right now, obviously, but that's it for dinner tonight. So I'm going to cook this on the camp stove. That shouldn't use too much fuel, just basically got to heat this up. And then, what else? Yeah, just going to enjoy eating here for the moment. One of the things that I don't like about bicycle touring is like all of this stuff comes in packaging, and you just burn through so much trash. And I mean, you do it in your normal life too, but out here I think I just notice it more, because after I'm done with this, I can't just like dump it in my trash can at home. I have to carry it around with me until I find a trash can to put it in. So I'm just more aware of the fact that like all of this stuff comes in paper or plastic or glass. And gosh, if you were to sit down and think about like at the end of your life, if you were like presented with a pile of all of the trash that you created during your lifetime, it would be sickening, I think. And I'm just one person. Imagine there's billions of people on the planet all creating their own piles of trash. This tomato soup is a little bit oranger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be red, kind of. Gotta get every drop out of this box. So last night when I got to camp, I told you the story about this guy that I met back in Gallivare, and he was telling me that he bought a schoolhouse for 1 crown, which is like 12 cents or something like that. And the way he was able to do that was he is not from Sweden, and he moved up here to this part of northern Sweden from Holland. And excuse me, I'm cooking and talking at the same time, but he moved up here from Holland and saw this old school building and no one was using it, and he just looked into who owned it and that sort of thing, and asked if they wanted to sell it, and they sold it to him for 1 crown. 1 crown. And the reason I told that story is not only because I think it's interesting, but it says something about outsiders. Like sometimes when you're from an area, like you tend to think like everyone else in that area. Like all of the locals here in Sweden saw that old schoolhouse and didn't think anything of it. They just thought, oh, it's an old building and that's the end of it. But he saw that old schoolhouse and thought to himself, hey, here's an opportunity perhaps. And I just think that's really interesting, because I'm going to start the stove here, because that's like why I travel in the first place. Like I'm not so interested now in like going to see churches and going to another museum or something. Like I've been to thousands of those over the years. Whoa. And I just think it's interesting that like sometimes it takes an outsider to come in and look at things differently, and that's part of why I travel. Is like I think it's fun to, I don't know, when you're traveling, go into someone else's home and note all of the differences between the way that they live and the way that I live back home, or the way that my friends live or family lives or whatever, right? And to compare and contrast that with, you know, the way people live all around the world. But that outsider mentality, I guess, like coming in as an outsider, you have like a piece of gold that you're carrying around with you, like you are a little gold mine, and you don't even realize it as an outsider, because you view the world differently than everyone else in that part of the world. And that's part of why like so many like big companies and stuff will pay consultants to come in and assess what they're doing and suggest things that they could do differently. It's because the people that are in the business are blind to what is wrong with the business. But somebody who can come in from the outside and who has a different perspective can come in and make some real change. And yeah, so that's why I was telling you the story about the schoolhouse yesterday, and that guy that bought the thing for 1 crown. It's just because it goes back to travel, I think, and being an outsider and all of that kind of thing. So I just thought that was really cool. Here we go. It's not bad. I bought this bread days ago. I don't know, it's kind of like pita bread, Doesn't taste good. It's just like really dry, kind of. And yeah, I don't want to waste it, so I'm eating it up tonight. Let's look at the stats for today, shall we? So I did a total of 92.6 kilometers. Maximum speed 44. Average speed 18.5. Total time on the bike just shy of 5 hours. My nose is runny. That's about it. So anyways, I'm gonna put my tent right here.